All right. So it's Fright Night with Ferocious Fee. We're going to be talking about Host. Now, there are plenty of movies out there with the title Host or The Host. This is the supernatural one that I believe you guys said was released during the pandemic. They shot it during the pandemic and they released it during the pandemic. It's less than an hour long, so it's a pretty quick watch. I think they were rage baiting me though when they suggested this, and we'll get into that later. So, what's everybody been doing? Hmm.
Oh man, I've been well this week was a super busy week at work because I feel like it was the first week for a while where I was in there for like a solid 5 days straight, instead of like these abbreviated weeks because of the holidays. Um, so that was a little chaotic. I survived through today, but man, it was a struggle. But I had arc raiders to keep my sanity throughout the week. So I've been playing a bunch of arc raiders again, having fun with that. Playing a bunch with FarQ, who's hanging out in the chat and hanging out with my son and playing a bunch of that game as well. Still no Fuzzy. He ghosted me. It's kind of a sad story, but we'll survive, and maybe someday we'll get him into the awesomeness that is that game. But besides that, trying to catch up on some movies here and there where possible. Got to watch this last weekend before the work week kicked in. So yeah, looking forward to talking about it. It was an interesting thing, and I guess right off the rip, it sounds like we're gonna get an interesting take from Fee, from what we can tell already. So
So it's good to be back. I didn't really play any video games. It was a quiet week for me. Pennsylvania, at least where I live, we got hit with 15 inches of snow Sunday. So that was fun. There was supposed to be another huge storm this weekend, but it like shifted or something, which is great because it would have been another 20 inches. So I'm good with snow for a little. It's been like in the single digits all week, so the snow's not even melting, which is awesome. So it just stays there. Um, yeah, I seen this movie a couple times, and I'm excited to talk about it because I really enjoyed it. So maybe we'll have 3 weeks in a row where everyone agrees on it's a good movie. Maybe not. Fee's always the wild card. So yeah, we'll wait and see.
Yeah. For
Wait a minute.
me,
I thought it was the predictable one.
Well, last week we all agreed on a movie, which was never happened. So
yeah.
I'm trying to see like if this is a new year, new you thing where you appreciate movies. We'll see.
no, no,
Oh, really?
no. Come on
Anyway,
now.
Fuzzy, go ahead.
Oh, well, yeah, for this past week, snow is it's been a bother to some extent. I mean, you enjoy it when you're a kid, but when you're now responsible for shoveling it, yeah, not so much. Not a lot of fun, but I think we got just under 2 feet. Took a park day. What was that? Because didn't really have to move the cars until what, Wednesday or Thursday or something. So I think it was either Tuesday night
Thursday.
or maybe it was Tuesday. I can't even remember. Getting up there in age, you get forgetful. But I think maybe Monday night I started partially cleared out around the cars and a little bit off the cars, and then Tuesday kind of finished it up in the morning and afternoon, clearing the driveway and stuff like that. And that was a trip because it's like 2 feet of snow on either side of the driveway. So just piling that stuff and then having it where it doesn't fall back in the driveway was annoying. But outside of that, and after getting past being sore from shoveling, yeah, I'm doing all right. Haven't played as much video game stuff as I wanted to. I will at some point get around to playing Arc Raiders and stuff, but I gotta do some more Forza related stuff because I definitely want to put some videos out about that. And did one, I guess that was last Thursday, But other than that, I'm glad to be here with you guys. This was definitely an interesting movie. I think we're going to have a 3-1 split kind of thing. Although I'm well, we'll get more into how what the scores and all that will be, but definitely interesting. Definitely a good concept for the lockdown or the C-19 period in time and stuff like that. Very on point with the whole Zoom meeting stuff, which I'm so glad I never have to bother with those anymore. It's like having a meeting about a meeting about a meeting was just the most annoying thing about my previous employer. But yeah, just glad to be here. So, Fee, what have you been up to this past week?
Well, I had a very interesting week. Um, so uh, because of the snow, which yeah, I really didn't think was going to be that big. And the way they were talking at my school, it sounded like the apocalypse was coming. So we actually did. I don't know why they did this because where we live, the school district that we live in, we're used to. Pennsylvania is used to having large amounts of snow. Even Philly every once in a while gets large amounts of snow. It's just that any amount of snow in Philly is definitely going to um, be dramatic. Everybody's going to be dramatic in Philly because, as you know, any city does that pretty much. So, really crowded, blah, 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 right? But the district that we live in Pennsylvania, they had school they had school off Monday and Tuesday, and then they had a 2-hour delay, which is normal. But then since I work in a different state, they decided to have the whole entire week pretty much almost off. So we didn't have school Monday. We didn't have school Tuesday. And then we had a remote day Wednesday and Thursday. And realistically, I don't think it was because of the snow. I think it had more to do with teacher and bus driver contracts, since we had half days that were supposed to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So we are now getting more half days next week. So not only did we get 2 days off, 2 days that were remote days, which we don't have to be with the kids from the normal time to the normal time. We get a few extra couple of hours off and everything. But then on Friday, of course, we had our what we call a grading day, so we get off that day anyway. So we're gonna have half days off for most of the week next week, which is gonna be nice. We don't have to have all the kids each day, so that's gonna be nice and everything. So I'm happy about that. But as Fuzzy's recollection, yes, he was done with the snow by Tuesday, but then he was sore on Wednesday from the snow, which he would not let me help with. And then
That is not true. I'd let you help, but I'm not trying to have you break a hip sliding down the hill or something.
so
Because you like to go up the hill backwards and push the shovel on the ice, and I'm like, please stop, because I'll be picking you up and probably falling at the same time.
whatever.
So, yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna let you guys know. Okay, I do have a couple disabilities. I do work. Probably one of the reasons why I picked teaching, because it's very consistent in hours, and I get a couple months where I don't have to do as much work and be around the kids and stuff. But I do have symptoms, and one of the symptoms is balancing issues, and that kind of freaks Fuzzy out, especially when it's snow and ice. So yeah, he gets very picky, and then I wind up going in the house.
That
And
explains
yeah.
that explains why your reviews are always so imbalanced.
Sure does. I think it's an auditory delay, but that's just me. So anyway, but yeah, I did try. I did try and help Fuzzy, and he wouldn't let me help. So
Like a good husband.
Fuzzy can do no wrong.
Hey, he
Nobody
just
said that.
he just didn't want to have to deal with all of the fallout if you ended up getting injured, because then
Yeah.
you would have had to work with that for the rest of the week, which is always painful.
Yeah.
Be like if my wife went out and shoveled the driveway instead of me. Like, if she ate shit and slipped on the ice, I would hear about it. Absolutely. For the rest of the week, be like, well, I wouldn't have busted my ass except for you were too busy playing Arc Raiders.
Yeah. I mean, I know Fuzzy's partial to me because we could be arguing for a couple days and everything like that, and then when I slip and fall down the stairs, he's like very, oh my god, what happened? Are you okay? So I know he's partial to me,
I
and
mean, I would
everything.
hope
But
so since you're married, but
hey, that's not
shit.
true nowadays.
True. That's
There's a lot of people getting divorced. I'm just saying.
true.
Yeah. So we are talking about the host today, the one from 2020, the one that was around the time of when we had the pandemic. Like I said, it's less than an hour in case anybody wants to take a look at it that did not yet. So it's, I wouldn't say it's fast paced, because this is not really per se an action movie, but I would say it is quick. So you can miss things very quickly if you're not like watching it. So this is not the type of movie where you can do stuff and have it play in the background, because you're gonna miss a lot of stuff. So first impressions. Anybody have first impressions?
I mean,
Oh,
Oh.
you can go, Cypher.
okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I didn't look into this thing whatsoever prior. You guys had kind of mentioned it and just were like, hey, we're gonna watch that. So I tried my best not to go in depth on it prior. I didn't want to, especially since it was only like 57 minutes. I didn't want to ruin anything for myself, because I figured it'd be easy enough to just sit through and watch in one sitting. But when I did start it, I definitely liked the structure of it. And it is funny just to think of, like, granted, I guess, like, it's been a handful of years now. I never really ended up fortunate enough to get to enjoy being away from a bunch of people during COVID. And so, like, seeing all that stuff, like, it didn't land with me the exact same way, but it was interesting to go back in time and be like, oh, geez, feels like this was, it feels like COVID at this point was like 10 years ago. And so when you jump into it and you see it, you're just like, oh, that's right. That was a thing. And yeah, I like the premise for it. I thought it was a cool idea, and it's a really good way to make something on a good budget. So yeah, that was kind of my feedback initially, is just kind of interesting to be like transported back to that time frame that we all lived through, and also just seeing like how they were able to utilize that to make something very budget friendly, but still very impactful, as I discovered when we watched it.
Nice. Yeah, for me, I pretty much decided to watch the trailer. Kind of had a rough idea what this was about, as far as the whole Zoom meeting thing, which I kind of hinted to with my previous employer. It was like we would have a meeting that involved everybody, and then there would be like a department meeting, which was like a review of the big meeting that we just had, and then there would be like a follow-up meeting where you're supposed to tell your subordinates the same thing that was in the big meeting, but I would just say, hey, you were in the other meeting. All right, just remember what you heard there and go go back to work, kind of thing. So, yeah, I kind of figured this would be, a little bit of a trip down memory lane to some extent with Zoom, but definitely an interesting concept, and kind of an unexpected, like found film footage kind of deal. Like I think the trailer at first I wasn't putting two and two together as far as it being like a found film type of genre type of deal, but you could definitely see in it as far as the trailer. If you decide to watch the trailer, you can see that it kind of has like a paranormal activity kind of vibe to it. But yeah, I was ready for this just for the fact, oh, it's Zoom. Yeah, there's always terrible things that happen while in the Zoom meeting kind of thing, or the person that thinks they're on mute and they got the kids crying in the background, or something weird along those lines, or music blaring or something. But yeah, pretty cool trailer. They carried it out well, and I agree with Cypher on, if you're going to do a movie on a smaller budget, this was an awesome way to kind of set that premise, set that limitation where you don't have too many locations, too many actors and actresses and stuff like that. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I was ready for this.
I also like the both of you. I like how they incorporated, like, it was during COVID, and there's a lot of movies that tried cashing in on the pandemic and COVID, and looking back at them, they really don't age well. I think the one movie, Sick, which is on Peacock, that was like a COVID movie, and if you watch it now, it just, you can't really relate to it at all, or I guess you could understand, but you just can't relate to it because, like Cypher said, it feels like so long ago that COVID happened. But I like that they don't focus on it a lot. Like, they tell you, like, okay, this is during COVID, the pandemic, so like that explains why they're all in individual Zoom calls and not hanging out. But they don't really get hung up on the COVID thing, and I feel it works that they did this during COVID, because if they were all together in one room, I don't feel like it nearly have the effect that it does when they're all separated watching what happens to each other. Um, so yeah, it's 57 minutes, so that even could keep my attention span. And like Fee said, it's not an action movie, uh, but for only being 57 minutes, they really put out a solid movie, I feel. And that's what I gotta say about that for now.
Okay, so I swear you guys rage bait me. So while I was fine with it being 57 minutes, I was fine with the pace of the movie. I was fine that the jump scares were slight. If you missed it, you missed it, kind of thing, right? So you really had to watch this thing. You had to pay attention, and I'm fine with all that. I'm not fine with that online seance. That thing did not work. Like, come on now, that was a little unrealistic. I was not having that. And the other complaint I had about this movie was this: we have watched so many supernatural movies that we have become accustomed to an actual, and we've seen the paranormal activity stuff and everything, not just the movie, but the actual real life stuff that people haven't faked. And it doesn't come on that fast and that strong. That's not the reality of even a seance or even a supernatural event. It doesn't just come on out of nowhere and just wreak havoc over a few hours and then all of a sudden, because we're kind of assuming that there have been hours in between and everything. So it wasn't just like 57 minutes of watching this. The problem is that that's what I didn't really connect with this movie. Everything else was fine. I didn't initially want to see the creature, right, Fuzzy? I didn't initially see the creature, get a jump scare, that soon. So I did close my eyes, but then I realized the jump scares were very, very quick. So it was kind of easy to miss them if I just looked away real quick. So yeah. So what did you all think about online seances?
I thought it was pretty good. Personally, I don't know. I guess I was able to suspend reality and accept that it was just a movie, and have fun with it.
Well, yeah, you didn't want to sit through like a 3-hour development, like Fee was saying, because it happened so fast that, like, I feel like they did it at a good pace.
Yeah. Yeah, and with it being 57 minutes, I feel like it didn't, it's like some of the other movies we've seen where it's like when it's that clean, crisp, like hour or hour and a half, it doesn't really have too much opportunity to overstay its welcome. And so like it can deliver the point, get in, get out, and be done. And I feel like that was a pretty effective approach in this version. And the seance stuff, like I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't have a ton of I didn't have a ton of background on seances and stuff like that. I just always see it in the movies we've watched. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good approach from the little I know.
What did you think, Fee?
No, I'm thinking about just the concept of an online seance.
I thought it was good.
I know that, but do you think it would work or not?
Do I think it would work?
Yeah.
Do I buy a lot of that stuff necessarily? No. I always felt kind of hokey to me, but at the same time, it's always been one of those things where, like, when you see it portrayed, even if it's not like the best example of it, it still creeps you out. And like, who am I to say one way or another, like whether it's like a legit method? You could probably still, I guess, if all that stuff's legit, you could still accidentally summon something. And yeah, I don't know. Seems like just like Ouija boards, it's not really something to fuck with.
Well, very true.
Like I'm not gonna chance it and be like, oh yeah, someone told me I should go say Candyman in the mirror 3 times in the dark, or Bloody Mary or something. Like, all that stuff just always felt like something that I wasn't really necessarily interested in messing with myself. Like, I'm not gonna see this and be like, I'm gonna myth bust this, because screw that.
An F around find out kind of moment. But
I'm exactly. Good. Like I don't need chairs flying around. I don't need my significant other to drop from the ceiling or whatever the hell happened to the one guy. Like, I don't need that shit in my life.
I shouldn't have Fuzzy on the ceiling.
No, don't hang Fuzzy from the ceiling. He's already been through enough.
I wouldn't be doing it.
I got your back, bro. I got your back.
Anyway.
No, as far as like seances and things, like I'm no expert in any way, shape, or form. I know Fee has had some experiences with seances, but I look at it this way. Could it work? I don't know. I would think if it could work, once things start going sideways, there should have been an exit strategy, or that everybody should have been paying attention to the exit strategy, because the one lady that I guess was supposed to be the main host or medium or whatever, before she dropped out of the call and stuff, was like, oh yeah, just act like you have a tether, leading to your doorway, and then you turn towards it and imagine that you're using imaginary scissors to cut the connection, and that should break you free. And it's like, yeah, these are notes that people should have been paying attention, but not everybody took it seriously. Of course, there's always got to be a joker in the group, and that's how things go sideways. But yeah, there was one aspect of it, like, all right, so the whole disbelief thing, like, okay, I'll go along with it. I'm not gonna analyze every little thing of it, but like the one part where the one guy came back after him and his wife were probably screwing around because she pretty much caused the break of the connection for him earlier. Should he have been targeted by this entity? I don't know. That part was maybe a little bit of a stretch for me, but I think the rest of it, even if it's just for entertainment purposes, I went along with it. They hooked me enough that I would believe that, hey, yeah, you screw around and you'll find out the hard way. It's like, look, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. But
Paranormal activity movies or paranormal movies done properly always scare the shit out of me and are the scariest to me. Like when Paranormal Activity came out in '07 or whatever it was, like that movie, you're like sitting on the edge of your seat. Like there's quiet, you're focusing on the background. You think something moved, did it really move? Like this movie gave me those vibes. So I mean, 15 years later or something, 13 years later, it took for this movie to get like for me to get those vibes again. And I don't know, I feel like it was a well done, creepy. Like he said, the jump scares were fast, so like you would have to be paying attention, but they also relied on the quiet of the movie. Like I don't think there was any music in the movie. It was all just talking, like there's no score. Uh just kind of character development, I guess. And yeah, this movie makes you want to sleep with the hall lights on so you don't see no shadows or anything. At least me, because I do not like paranormal. I love them because they're scary as shit, but I hate them because they're realistic as shit. Because I believe in that stuff. So that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, I think my problem with the seance online was you're asking for a spirit to come to your location. I know it's online, and people are asking for it in tandem and stuff like that. In tandem, and the spirit is hearing everybody at the same time or whatever in these various locations. But yeah, it's still far-fetched to me that only one spirit would have shown up. I
Maybe the
guess,
rest were busy.
what was that?
The rest were busy. They had something going on. It
I
was the
like that
weekend.
answer. I like
It
that
was the
answer.
weekend.
It was the weekend. The rest had off.
And the rest had off.
They didn't want to be bothered at the time, you know?
I don't know. Maybe we should make a movie about that. But yeah, I just didn't get that part. I thought there would be more showing up, and just to have one and then being able to skip from multiple locations. And the thing about Teddy is this: he wasn't there for the beginning of the seance anyway, so he never really had a connection, and then to just kind of show up and get an instant connection is kind of not really how it works. So yeah, and then his significant other, I don't know if it was the wife or the girlfriend or whatever, but having the significant other in there too, yeah, it just, that whole thing was just a little far-fetched for me. But the jump scares were good. But what do we think happened to the medium that showed up in the first place. What do we think happened to her?
I think her internet went down.
She didn't pay her Comcast bill, and
Here, Comcast.
being as they were assholes during COVID, and well, granted they're always assholes, but being as they were especially assholes about COVID and people going over their data limits when we shouldn't realistically have any fucking data limits. Comcast, I'm looking at you. Or charge people extra for the data when realistically we've moved to a modern time where everyone uses a lot of data. You soul-sucking leeches. I think she probably just got disconnected by Xfinity or Comcast because they're like, you didn't pay your bill this week, meh. Bunch of grubby assholes. But that's just me.
Anybody agree with them, or you have another opinion?
I mean, it's either that or the demon decided to cut the cord. I mean, you know,
Cut the
it's like,
cord.
you're out. Disconnected. Like,
you
ain't
know what?
helping these people.
You know what? I take it back. I prefer that. That's way better than my theory.
Well, no, the Comcast thing, it was definitely a thing, and that's why I've stuck with was it Verizon Fios? But it's like, yeah, I don't know. It was weird that her call kept dropping, or that they would have to call her on the phone, and then that would get disconnected. So, yeah, if she was a Comcast customer, yeah, she was shorting her bill, and they were not having it.
Fuzzy, maybe what actually happened was she needed to go take a wicked growler. And so she was like, I gotta hang up. I gotta go to the bathroom and I can't be around for this. And so she tried to be like, oh, sorry, I lost connection. When like meanwhile it was actually just that her stomach was upset.
I mean, I just assumed like I got like the hippie vibe from her, so I assumed she just like kind of lived off grid in the woods and maybe doesn't have the best internet service, and you know, with COVID, she's not used to this where normally she goes to people's houses and stuff. So yeah, she just kind of lived off grid, and it could have been a storm or something at her house and dropped in and out.
Yeah.
So
Possibly.
I don't know what they were going for, but I just have a theory
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
that if the demon took her out first, that he would have better access to everybody else. So if it worked the way it worked, not just, what I think that it wouldn't work, but wouldn't that be a strategic thing for the demon to do?
Yeah, but then the demon's gotta, either possess her or, mimic her voice.
Yeah. I mean, why couldn't the demon mimic her voice?
True.
I mean, could have, but definitely didn't from what it seemed like.
No, it sounded right on point.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe it was a setup. Maybe she was just purposely looking to terrorize people during COVID because she was bored. So
Yeah.
Oh, you think the theory is that she was playing with them?
Yeah, like maybe we'll get a sequel where we see it from her perspective, and it turns out that she's literally just messing with people. She's like, "Oh yeah, no, if you light these candles, then things are gonna happen. It's great." Oh crap! Wait, what's happening? And then she like clicks the end call button, and she goes and again takes a wicked growler, and then comes back and's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. And just is like messing with them the whole time, and she thinks the whole thing's a prank, and she's not actually experiencing any of it. So she's like, yeah, okay, sure. And then she finds out like the next day that there's a whole bunch of people discovered dead after this like supposed seance or something. Like that could be interesting.
And she's just gonna keep her mouth shut, right?
Yeah, exactly, because she doesn't want to be brought in.
So she's supernatural swatting them, basically.
Maybe.
Damn.
Who can say, really?
That is true. That's true.
Maybe her pizza showed up And she's like, I gotta hang up real quick so I can go pay the delivery guy. I don't know.
But we saw that though. We saw
Well,
that.
that was a separate delivery. That was something else. That wasn't
was
the
something
food
else.
delivery.
Maybe her Adam and Eve delivery showed up. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Like, who knows? Maybe it was a different delivery.
Well, she
Maybe it
seems to
was.
get a lot of deliveries.
Maybe it was a male caller. Who knows?
Yeah, I gotta go. I don't know. I think that the demon killed her first.
Yeah, because we don't see her face to see if she's like zombified or bloodied up like the one.
It was a phone call.
Girl.
Well, but she also never acts like suddenly stuff's happening. Like she never mentions anything or acts disheveled like suddenly something bad's happening at her place. She's just like, oh yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened.
This
Well,
is true.
but
And it's
that
not like
would
it's her
be
first
clear,
time doing these.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I know. But that would sound more like the demon would do that than act devil.
But with how many times she's probably done this, which by done this I mean scammed a bunch of people out of some money, I would imagine that she would have been like, this seems different this time. I looked at that crucifix and it was snapped in half. Maybe that's a bad sign.
I don't know. I think she's dead.
I don't know. I think she's enjoying that $1,000 and she paid down her Amex.
Why specifically Amex? It could have been Capital One for all you know.
I mean, it could have.
But see, the rewards points would be trackable at that point. So.
Hell yes, exactly. See, Fuzzy gets it.
Oh, Fuzzy.
No, it is weird how she dropped from the call, but there one connection on how to, I guess, backtrack and break the connection with the demon or whatever spirit was haunting them at that point in time. But if she made a partner deal, maybe a deal with the devil kind of deal, then she was able to deliver 6 souls in place of whatever deal or negotiation she made. So
True.
actually more than 6 because what was it, like two people had their significant others there that also got wrapped in this.
Well, one was a dad. We don't know what happened to dad.
Yeah, we didn't even see him.
Yeah.
Hopefully
I think
he
there
left
was
the house.
7 or 8 total kills or deaths.
I think there was at least 8. Yeah. I mean, we still don't know if I guess the medium died or not, but
yeah, we don't know.
Definitely don't see her face anymore, so
we don't know about dad either.
Yeah, and dad is kind of a question mark. Although I don't know if he said he was heading out to the club or something. I think he was kind of joking, like, "Oh, y'all are you're doing some sort of like." I forget what he referred to, but it was like some sort of weird party or something. And he's like, "No, I'm going out."
He seemed like a fun guy to hang out with.
Yeah.
He knew how to have fun. Like recently divorced, wants to have a second win of life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he seemed like he was bringing all the drugs to the party. That dude was like in a mood. It was pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think is going to happen when he gets home, though? You think the demon's still going to be there?
He's going to bust out the mushrooms and he's going to have another trip before he faces reality, which is that the daughter or whatever freaking like had her head snapped sideways and smashed into. Wait, is that the same girl? I forget. Yeah. Who knows? But I would think he's going to do some coping with some assistance for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So wait a minute. No, the dad was the one where the girl was getting her head smashed in, right?
Yeah.
The one that's the neck snapping was the girlfriend or wife of Teddy.
I would argue that the girl who got her face smashed in multiple times into the laptop and
Mhm,
from what it looked like into like the kitchen cabinet,
mhm.
she probably got some damage to that neck too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She got messed up.
Very
Like
well.
in a big bad way. And I loved actually I thought that was a really good one where she had done the loop feed of
Mhm.
herself like
Oh,
walking
yeah.
around doing all that stuff. And I
Mhm.
liked, like, oh well, because we're all isolated and blah blah blah, I made my own friend. And I think it did a really good job when they threw those quick little tidbits of her just getting completely demolished by
Mm,
the demon. Like that was
mm,
that was pretty jacked up, and it
Yeah.
definitely had you paying attention because you were like,
mm.
okay, something's gonna happen during this loop, and I don't know what to expect, but it's gonna be messed up.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't like about how they were displaying the demon or whatever, because we see shots of them,
Yeah,
um, but we also see like other things. Like they did something that we saw in the Paranormal Activity. They did other things to kind of show his presence. The only thing I didn't like was the face. I think they
yeah.
could have done that differently. It looked more like a hologram.
It just didn't. I don't know. I with everything else, they did a really good job with the budgeting
Mhm,
and like doing it on a real low budget. And I
mhm,
feel like the face of that just didn't work out very well. I
mm-mm.
sometimes, sometimes less is more, right? And
Yeah,
stuff like when she threw the sheet and
yeah,
it
Yeah.
landed on him, like stuff like that is super effective.
yeah.
Um, but if you can't make the visuals work to be as scary as like when you're not showing stuff,
Mhm.
don't do it. Like
Mhm.
Yeah,
just leave it be. Like everything else that they hinted at, be
mhm.
it the feet through like the powder
Yeah,
or the
Mhm.
sheet or whatever, like
yeah,
that's plenty enough and that ratchets up
yeah.
that tension. But they just didn't. Yeah, I agree with you
Yeah.
fully. Like they didn't do a great job with the
I mean,
actual
yeah, because
face
the
or whatever.
because the Polaroid camera was great.
Yeah,
Um, but
yeah.
like I said, that face was just out of place. They could have just had a mask and then it fall or something.
Mhm.
That would have been, I think, more realistic based off of what they were also presenting in every other depiction of
I
this demon.
I mean that face was still creepy, to be
Yeah.
fair, but like the end when you ended up
Yeah.
seeing like a little bit more of the face and stuff,
Mhm. Mhm.
that I think is where it wasn't as effective for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the mask was floating, like when the
Mhm.
face was floating just in the open,
Mhm.
that was fucked up. And that definitely like messed with me a little bit because, all of us probably at some point have messed around with some of the effects that our phones have where you can put
Mhm.
the different faces on
Yeah.
people and stuff. And when I saw that, like that creeped me right out
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
because
yeah.
it just
That
looked so unsettling.
yeah.
Um, yeah. Yeah.
No, I was kind of expecting, without I guess spoiling it for the jump scare at the end. I was expecting more so just to see like darkness and then maybe eyes, like glowing eyes, kind of thing.
Mm,
Because there were times where you're like looking in the dark before she's taking some of the pictures, and it looks like there's things glowing that could be eyes, and it's like,
Mhm.
all right, they're way up there as opposed to like normal eye level. It's like it would be a much taller, I guess, figure at that point. But I guess it was just like some of the reflection or some of the light peering through a window kind of thing. But yeah, the mask floating, it didn't really unsettle me as much as the like the loop where the one girl was like, "Oh, I made a friend." And I was like,
Oh
I
yeah.
knew that was going to be one of those things where, okay, she made this screensaver thing for in the background. And we're going to like see glimpses of something really weird. And sure enough, it's like, oh, wait, was that her forehead flying
Mhm.
to the camera or something? And sure enough, like before the whole like head banging on the laptop, I was like, yeah. The demon probably just threw her at the laptop and was like, "Hey, take a picture," kind of thing. And I don't know if they even saw that. They were like, "Wait, what was that?" And it's like, I forget what the girl's name was, but they were like calling her name and she's not responding. So it's like,
Yeah.
I didn't hate the face as much as all of you did, I guess. It was something different that most paranormal activity movies really don't do. Instead of like never seeing a face or you just see shapes, like you actually got to see the face. So I applaud him for trying something different. Like it could have really been great, could have been really bad. Something different you don't know until you try it. And sometimes, yes, less is more. So like if you don't really see it, you're always wondering. But at the same time, I wasn't mad about it that they showed the face. I was like, oh wow, like this is new. Like you normally don't see a face in a paranormal activity movie. Like this is a little refreshing. Like I appreciate this. So that's how I felt about the face.
okay.
Fair.
I like the fact that they ended it on that note, like call disconnected or call ended or something like that immediately after, which was pretty cool. But like the whole like snapping the pictures, I'm like reimagining Blair Witch with where are you where you at, Josh? Kind of moments. Like I know something's about to happen. We're about to see something creepy before some people either get knocked to the ground or something. Which one girl got hit by what was it, a bottle? And when she broke into her
Yeah.
friend's
yeah.
apartment, she got
Yeah.
smacked
Yep.
upside the head with a bottle. It's like, oh, that was different.
Yeah.
But yeah, they I would say from a special effects standpoint, even though the video or resolution quality of the video and stuff because of it being like a Zoom meeting wasn't the greatest, but I think that added to
Yeah.
the real feel to it, and it probably gave them a lot more leeway for some of the special effects, which turned out great, I think, overall for this thing. Whether it's the cabinets flinging or the chair pulling the one girl back and stuff like that. Although I knew, deep down, I figured, oh, she's a goner. She's going to be in like bits and pieces or something. So to have her pop out of like a cabinet or something in the bedroom or whatever, it was like, oh, she's okay. Well, now I'm thinking, is she possessed? Oh, she's going to break out the Polaroid. Okay, well, let's see how this goes because somebody ain't making it, or nobody's going to make it, kind of thing. And yeah, sure enough. But special effects, they definitely did a good job. With the whole setup and everything. And I think Fee, why don't you tell everybody what you thought of the one girl hiding under the blanket?
That ain't gonna work. Like, I know blanket doesn't do anything. I know where she was going with it. If I don't see you, you can't see me. But that's just not reality. That's not how it works.
Well, in reality, you really can't get away from it. So you just try anything.
Well, that's not true. That's not necessarily true. If they had gotten out of the house, there was a possibility. The problem was that we were trying to figure out. Now, Fuzzy thought the apartment door was before the kitchen, and I thought it was like in the kitchen.
In the very beginning of the movie, or
well, just in general, the layout
for that last apartment, yeah.
Like, did they have to go all the way through the kitchen where the demon was supposed to be in order to get out?
Well, depending on what floor they were on, if they had like a fire escape in their window, maybe they could have went out there.
Yeah, because I think the one girl that broke in came in through the window, but she was also the one that was throwing stuff at the window to get her attention before.
Yeah, and that was adjacent to the kitchen, which they were all the way in the bedroom in the back. So, I mean, getting out of the house could have been a way, because the demon might not have been able to locate them. But realistically, the demon should have been held to the house not to the person because they didn't actually possess anybody. So yeah, the lore doesn't make sense to me.
The Lord?
The lore.
The
L-O-R.
Lord.
The Lord
Lord.
doesn't make Whoa, this one took a turn.
Look. I got that one right. Okay, my speech impediment did not mess that one up. The lore.
No, now we're going back to the usual complaints about like, well, it's not very accurate to how things actually work. It's
Yeah, the ghost that visited me clearly didn't act like that ghost in the movie.
yeah.
God forbid a spirit has different personalities.
Yeah.
All right, look. I think in order to watch this movie, you have to dispel a lot of belief.
Wow.
Yeah, you have to ignore a lot of things.
4 out of 10. Not a real ghost experience, okay? You thought it was going to be a ghost. It turns out it was actually just some gas from the Del Taco you had. Creaky floorboards, more like clogged toilets.
Yeah, I had to ask her at the end of the movie, what do you think? Was this an original idea? And she's like, yeah, part of it. I mean, some of it. And I'm like,
oh,
I
Fuzzy,
just had to
what a
give her that
monster.
look like, come on.
What a monster.
Zoom didn't exist prior, so it's original enough. Come on.
Damn.
Zoom existed before this.
I got to give you props for asking that question, though. That's pretty good. Thank you for doing the work that we couldn't do at the time.
The Lord's work.
Yep, the Lord's work. She doesn't believe in the Lord. We heard it with our own ears. So.
Hey, we ain't going there. I already told you what religion I am. But anyway. No, yep. I want to clarify this for everybody.
Oh shit! Here we go.
Okay.
Brace yourself.
We're not going to talk about the background of this because I don't want Fuzzy mad at me again. So I don't claim that anything is original. I claim that the twists are original. Did this have an original twist? Yes, it did. The whole Zoom thing and the online seance, I'm not going to say that wasn't original. It was. Do I think it is possible? No. Do I think that being the twist helped the movie? Yes.
Yes.
Okay? So I'm not saying that no part of this was original. I'm just saying that it used other elements that are not original, and it just twisted one thing to make the plot a little bit more original.
I was wondering where you were going to take a turn on that. I was like, how is it that I'm in mostly agreeance?
I'm convincing.
Let's not go that far.
Anyway, so let's see if there's anything else. Let's see. We talked about what we think happened to the medium. We talked about the jump scares.
Well, just real quick with the medium, did anybody see or notice something like in the fireplace behind her? It looked like there was a person or some sort of like silhouette in that fireplace.
No, but I wouldn't put it past him. Like they probably did something to kind of make it look like it was being manipulated.
I mean, it looked like something, but I just couldn't figure out if it was that she had maybe a pot in there and kind of had that silhouette of that, and there was like a
Mm.
fireplace underneath. I mean, she was hippie-ish. So now, I'm not gonna say she's entirely hippie, but if this is her kind of line of work and stuff like that, it would not escape me that she might be cooking things in this kind of fire thing to send out and mail out to people as, protection spells and things like that. That wouldn't shock me. So that's why I thought maybe there was like a big kettle that she uses or something.
Yeah.
Maybe she sends spells via USPS.
Maybe she does.
Curses and stuff. Like we were questioning if this was possible over a Zoom meeting, but what if she's just sending stuff via USPS?
But here's the thing, though. People do that. They do sell spell kits, and they do do things like charms and spells and things like that they send through the mail.
Oh, I know. That's how I got rid of my first stalker. It was pretty great.
Your first stalker? What about your second one?
He married her.
Second one, things almost went to a place, and then I found out things after. They're like, "Oh, dude, you dodged a bullet." but then they kept still coming to my work, and so I started making excuses and like finding ways to try and avoid being out in like the sales floor area, so I didn't have to worry about it. That was a dodgy point in time. She eventually got the message and stopped bothering me. But
Look at Stud Muffin over here talking about all of his stalkers.
Dude, shit was weird back then. Like when I think back about those times, I'm like, man, I dodged a few bullets. Like I might have picked up some things I didn't want had I pursued those situations. But that's neither here nor there. We don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, that's Utah for you.
That's the Utah way of life.
Yeah, you guys are different out there.
Shit.
Now, Fee, did you see Paranormal Activity, the 2007 one?
Which one was that?
The first one.
Yeah, I watched the first one. I watched the second. I think I watched all of them.
So when you watched the first one, did you like it? Did you not? Were you this is original?
No, I like that. I think at the time it came out, we weren't really seeing a lot of things like that, where it was like the stalking part of it. We were seeing like the noise and the creaking and stuff, but the actual stalking part of like a demon stalking its victim, we didn't really see things like that. We didn't see the transition to actually being possessed like she was at the end. Everybody knows that. We didn't see that. So yeah, I thought that was an original twist to what was being put out, because we were seeing the full length story at that time of, actual hauntings, which was
it's almost like a twofer, because like you have the paranormal part, but then you have the possessed part. Like I'm good with just the paranormal part. Like I don't need everyone to become possessed all the time in the movies. Just move some shit, make me focus on some stuff, let a cabinet door open and scare the shit out of me. I'm good.
Well, yeah. But the Paranormal Activity movies, I don't know if everybody's watched all of them. I've seen all of them. Do I think the first one, of course the first one started all, so of course everybody's going to like that one, that likes the series. The second one, of course, was a direct explanation to the first one. And then we got, what did we get after that? The marked one, I think, was the fourth one, which was a prequel to, it seemed like everything was becoming a prequel to the original in the paranormal story. And then we got Next of Kin. Did you watch that one?
Yeah, we binge watched them just because I feel like they're all pretty much good. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you have the Mark ones. then you have the Ghost Dimension,
Mhm.
and then the Next of Kin, I believe, was the last one.
Yeah. So the Ghost Dimension was a prequel that tied up the first two. What was
Yeah,
the
because it
third?
had the same characters in it.
Mhm. Yeah, and then the one with the little kid in it. That
Oh,
was that 4?
that
With
was
the little boy?
creepy. The little boy across the street.
Yeah. Because that was
That was
go on. Did we lose him? Presto?
Comcast cut his internet connection as well.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
now I
we
can
can
hear you.
Okay. Yeah, 4, that one had the little boy, I believe.
Mhm.
And it also had a young Catherine Newton in it, which is crazy. Like Catherine Newton, she's been in Freaky. She's been in Abigail, Lisa Frankenstein. Like she's been in some decent movies, some good movies. So to see her as like a young teenager in this movie, and then to see her growing now, kind of like E.T., you have a young Drew Barrymore. The one that went to the club and got coked up at a young age, the good stuff.
different times,
Yeah.
different
So-
times.
Very
the way-
original on her behalf, I may say, for doing
Yeah,
that
exactly.
as a child.
Exactly.
Hey, nose candy, man. Nose
Oh my God,
Hey,
I'm scared.
Boogie
Anyway,
sugar's
okay.
gotta be inhaled, apparently.
So Paranormal Activity, right? So Paranormal Activity, the way they put it in chronological order is Paranormal Activity 3, then Paranormal Activity 2, then Paranormal Activity, then Paranormal Activity 4, and then the marked ones, the Ghost Dimension, and Next of Kin.
Okay.
What a mess.
So basically, like Fast and Furious.
Yeah, exactly. Like that sounds exactly like the Fast and the Furious franchise.
So the Ghost Dimension one, that one I think flips between everything, between pretty much all of them.
Hmm.
It's like they're going and traveling through time kind of thing.
Hmm.
Paranormal
Spoilers.
Activity, Next of Kin, and the Mark ones, they actually seem like they're in different locations. They seem separate.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No clue. I think I only ever watched through the first 3, maybe 4. Maybe number 4, I think is where I stopped. I don't think I ever caught the other ones because it felt I'm sorry, Presto. But I think when I got to number 4, I was like, all right. I think I'm good.
Well,
Hey, that's okay. I mean, you don't have to watch all of them. I mean, there's
Well, I do technically though, right? Because like I got the bundle, I think on Vudu, and so I've got all of them. I just need to watch the last couple now. So
I mean, females watch a lot worse, so you'll be able to
It's true.
manage.
true.
really?
That's true. Yeah. No, that's accurate.
Anyway,
Hey, for me, they all kind of blend together. Like I definitely remember the first one, I think the third one, and then the last one. Those are probably the ones that stick out the most. All the other ones are kind of like, I think I've seen them or at least seen parts of them, and it's like,
well, you've seen parts of them because
Yeah.
you've seen me watch them.
For like umpteen times.
So this is what I'm going to say about the marked ones and the Next of Kin ones, those two, because the other ones are direct relations to each other. The marked ones is really showing a kid being fully possessed. He's marked. He was promised at birth, basically, or somewhere in between birth and when he was a little kid. And he's now at that age where the demon wants to possess him. And the way it happens, I just think they did a really good job. Because it convinces him everything that's going on. It slowly convinces him that this is an acceptable thing to happen, and that it's a benefit to him. In the next of kin, I liked it because of the twist towards the end. You know, this is an Amish like community. She's trying to find her birth mother, and it just unravels after that. It just totally unravels. And I just thought it was a really good movie in the series. So if you look at them as if they are separate but still kind of connected to the expansion of, I guess, what these individuals, this cult was originally trying to do, and it was just like branches of the cult, then yeah, I think it's a better watching experience. So yeah, Cypher, as part of your homework too. Have you gotten any of your homework done, Cypher?
Totally. Yeah, no, I probably haven't really. But there's a possibility I might get some more time off this next week. So maybe I'll catch up on some things. We'll see.
Is that good time off, or is that because, some people just don't like to agree with each other?
Well, I would say when other people disagree with each other, I still benefit. so it's good for me, bad for them, really. Who can say?
Yeah. All right, we got a question here. All right. What kind of horror, scary movies scare you guys the most? Obviously, Presto or the Paranormal. This could have been
Totally. Paranormal Activity, paranormal movies for me that are well done scare the bejesus out of me. I love watching them at dark when it's you can have a very dark room, but it's also the worst time to watch them at night if you're easily spooked by this stuff. So yeah, paranormal movies for me, definitely the scariest. And I guess the ones that are more realistic, that like, oh shit, this happens or this could happen kind of thing. The movie Midsummer, that one. Wait, Midsummer? Yeah, Midsummer. When I saw that one, I felt so uncomfortable after watching it because there were so many scenes in that movie where it just made me feel uncomfortable that like I didn't even want the DVD in my house. Like I was like, I need to get rid of this thing. Like I do not want this in my house. So I got rid of it. And I was just like, yeah, that movie was fucked up. So and that movie is like you could very well see that happening. So ones like that and paranormal ones definitely take the icing on the cake for me.
Still gonna have to watch Midsummer too. I don't know. I mean, like there are certain. I don't feel like it's necessarily like one specific type, but I feel like sometimes you just have a movie, much like what Presto said, right, where it just like it unsettles you in a way that just I don't know. I mean, it's like that was Paranormal Activity, the first one for me, and then the second one. Because like originally when the first Paranormal Activity came out, they were very good at not like detailing if it was like a real thing or not, but they were kind of making it seem like it was like based on a true story. And so when I was first seeing it, I was like, what the fuck is this? And it was creepy. It did a really good job at building like a very atmospheric experience. But then, it's like, it's not always the exact same type of formula. I think something like Strangers, that had Scott Speedman and Liv Tyler in it, something like that, like that anxiety and that like tension, that just ratchets up as you're watching the movie. That's the type of stuff that it always drives me in. Those are the ones that kind of scare me the most. Like, obviously, I really enjoy a lot of I always really enjoy a lot of like the old campy and like the horror movies that we always watch. You know, our Friday the 13th, Halloween's, all those. But they've never necessarily like one or two of the iterations, but most of them don't really scare me or set me off. But something like those, or even just something really weird and awkward, like what was it? The Menu. I wasn't a big fan of it, but it was unsettling. I guess that's maybe more than anything is just the through line. The through line for me is just like something that leaves me unsettled. Um, if I feel uncomfortable when I'm watching the movie, then you've probably done a pretty good job. Because most of the time I can just sit there and watch whatever it is and it doesn't bother me too much. Um, Even though I didn't like it, I guess you could say the same thing with Terrifier. Is like I was just kind of unsettled. It wasn't creepy to me necessarily. It was fucked up, but it was very unsettling.
What about you, Fuzzy?
For me, the weirdest things tend to scare me, and all right. I'll start with what was the scariest movie when I was a kid, and it was the movie called The Day After. It was based on like if World War III happened, and I think it was the fact of the flash, and then seeing the shadow and the ashes on the walls, kind of thing. Only because knowing that that's what happens when if something like that was to happen. So I guess that was, I don't know how that, well, it doesn't fall really in horror, but
No, it's a
that was
drama.
definitely a traumatic kind of
Mhm.
fear thing being a kid as far as watching that. But more so possession, and it's like the main movie that comes to mind, although it didn't scare me, but it is unsettling, and I always kind of wonder when I'm going to encounter somebody that's possessed. Like, what was the movie that Denzel Washington was in where he was like chasing this killer, and the guy would always, or the demon would always say, "Time is on my side," like something along those lines. Like makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. It's not that
Mhm.
Fallen.
it's scary in itself, but it's like, how do you confront something that can jump from, living being to living being kind of thing? It's like
Mhm.
the concept of it is probably the more unsettling part for me. So it's like scary movies or horror movies aren't as scary for me. It's just more so like, yeah, I wouldn't do that. Oh, I wouldn't go in that basement. I hear a sound. Hey, Fee, we're getting in the car and we're going elsewhere kind of thing. But like if it's, oh, you're in the line and you hear somebody start, singing that song, and it's like, okay, we got to get out of this store kind of deal, because I'm not taking any chances that the killer demon has possessed the people behind us in the line or something weird like that. But I don't know, just the weirdest things kind of make me unsettled, I guess is about the best way to put it.
Yeah, so just let you know, we're eventually gonna make like, a 2 minute movie, um, you know, depicting a reasonable person like Fuzzy during a horror movie. So it's probably gonna be 2 minutes long, but we'll do it, right, Fuzzy? All the things that you
Oh
should
yeah.
not be doing, right?
Oh yeah. It's like, oh, you
Well,
see
cool.
a ghost walking around? Yeah, yeah. I don't need to be in this house. I don't care if I just bought it or not. Yeah, we're moving.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna depict realistic, what real people would do in these situations. Um, so for me, uh, I've watched Hereditary. I can't say it right now, but I've watched Midsummer and all those other movies. They don't really. I I honestly didn't even think Midsummer was actually a horror movie. It just didn't play like that for me. Um, but I can tell you two movies that did freak me out. Sinister, not Sinister 2. Sinister. Sinister 2 was it had creepy things in it, but just like Weapons was creepy, and some other things were creepy, but Sinister, when the Boogeyman came out, that was, and then finding out the kids were, essentially put up to it and everything, that right there was, just the way they laid out that movie was really good. The other one, I just had it in my head. I might have to think about that one in a minute. But definitely, Insidious. The first Insidious. What was scary about the first Insidious was the actual red monster. Now, when I saw the fourth one, he didn't creep me out as much because they full face and they didn't do the jump scare with it. But yeah, I didn't like watching that part. If I watched Insidious more than once, I would fast forward through that little part. So I still do, the jump scares still affect me and stuff, but Sinister, the music that they had in it, the sounds they had, the whole entire plot, like that right there to me was really scary. So, but everything else doesn't scare me. I mean, I don't get scared at the slasher flicks. Terrifier was not scary whatsoever. I don't know why people think it is. I don't know, it's just me. But yeah.
I think you've been desensitized with a
Yes,
lot
I've
of
been
movies you watch.
desensitized. I know. I've been watching horror movies since I was like 4 years old and can remember them. I probably was watching horror movies before 4. My mom was one of those that's like, "Oh, it's on. Okay." She was like, "Okay, I'm going to work 16 hours later." And the um whoever was babysitting us at the time was not really babysitting us. So yeah, I have been desensitized. It is what it is. But I'm very calm in a crisis. I will tell you that. I'm very calm in a crisis. Am I not, Fuzzy?
It depends on what the crisis is.
Okay, well, when cats and animals are involved, I'm probably not calm in a crisis.
Yeah.
Babies. But everything else, I'm pretty calm. So, yeah. That's just me. But yeah. All right. So getting back to the movie. So let's see. What was your favorite happening? I'm not going to say death or anything because just your favorite happening. Whether it was death or otherwise.
I mean, I got a couple of them. For me, probably, and this will probably be like an across the board thing for a lot of us here. The girl that went flying into our laptop while she had the screensaver of herself in the background. I think that was definitely up there. And then the one lady that was looking for her husband, and she was like, I think she was trying to call him or something. And she's like wandering around the house, doesn't see him. She picks up her phone to try and call him. And then all of a sudden, I think she goes to get up and he falls from the ceiling and stuff. So it's like, oh, yeah. That would be creepy, extremely creepy for the fact that, depending on how tall of a ceiling you have in your house, you were just walking around probably under them at certain moments and didn't notice that they were probably gasping for air, being choked out by the demon while on the ceiling or something. So, yeah, those two incidents definitely, I would say, are my favorites out of this movie.
Wow. My favorite was probably earlier on in the movie when the girl sitting in the chair and she got drugged across the floor while sitting in the chair. Because I feel like that was first time where you saw that the spirit wasn't just like I'm gonna open a door, I'm gonna knock over a cup, like kind of thing. It was like, no, I'm powerful enough that I could take this chair that you're sitting with and drag you across the floor to the door. Like, so that kind of opened it up for like, okay, if the spirit can do this, like all bets are off with what else it can do. So that was my favorite one.
Yeah, that was pretty cool because it's like she was arguing, I guess, with her friend, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah, it looks like the demon didn't like y'all arguing, so it was like,
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah, I think I I had mentioned it previously, of course, but I still really enjoyed the one with the friend where she had set it up so she had just a loop of her roaming around, so she had her own friend during COVID, and just to like watch that whole thing like play out and watch her like all of a sudden you just see the quick flashes of her getting thrown into like the laptop or like just getting destroyed. uh I think that whole that whole process from just like the quick little blip we saw at the very beginning all the way through, that was probably the one that really got me specifically, besides the yeah, the sheet. Those, they did a good job utilizing those to just creep me out. I enjoyed that. That was good.
So
V?
mine was the bottle to the face. Is that what
It
she's
was
looking
just so
around?
sudden.
Yeah, she's looking around. She breaks into the house through the window, which probably had a fire escape to it or something. I mean, I don't think she jumped up. And it definitely didn't look like it was the first floor because remember she was throwing rocks at her window. I guess they live close to each other.
Mhm.
But yeah, just she's like, I'm gonna rescue my friend, and Demon was like, no, you're not. Here you go.
I mean, that's a friend I want. Like that friend went to bat for you, like was like, yo, shit's going down, but I'm still gonna come rescue you.
True.
Are you
Yeah.
sure it wasn't the guilt? I mean, she did start it.
I mean, either way, I still appreciate it.
Yeah, she did screw with everything and like really make it a you're talking about how she's like, oh wait. I'm experiencing a presence.
Yeah.
It's like you there was probably guilt. There's probably a little bit of guilt, I would say.
Mhm.
Yeah. What was the made up character? Was it Jack or
Jack.
something?
Jack, yeah.
Yeah.
That was so screwed up. Like when it played out, it's like that's pretty good. Like I can't blame him. I probably would have been that person also being like, wait, I felt a disturbance. Oh, never mind. Letitia just farted in the chair and it felt like she shat her pants. Sorry. You know, like I would have tried to make it comedy. Because
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
feel like in situations where shit's going down, I feel like I like to be that comedic relief to try and mellow things out. So
Oh yeah,
I've
definitely we know that.
yeah, so I probably would have done that. I would have been that person, and I wouldn't have felt bad about it because I don't care.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
you're my dog.
Hell yeah!
So do we feel bad for Gemma?
Which is Gemma the one that got her face mashed in
Yeah.
the laptop?
She's the one who broke in after she talked about Jack and Jack was fake.
Oh wait, no, that wasn't the same. She's the one that took the bottle
The
to
bottle
the
to
head.
the face.
Yeah.
No.
Out of everybody, do we feel Gemma deserved what happened?
That's karma.
Yeah. I mean, if any of them to feel sorry for, it'd probably be Caroline because I think that was the one that did the face plant into the laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of felt bad for all of them. Like they weren't bad people are really doing anything wrong. Like
True.
during COVID, they just need something to do, so they branch out and tried this. Like
But
it's not like they were bad people.
there's so many things you could have done during COVID besides that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people that do it now, like without COVID going on. It's like they'll get a group of their friends and, you know, they'll have someone come over and they'll hide every picture. And I'm curious, like, I don't know if I believe in it, but it definitely has my curiosity where I'm like, I wouldn't mind doing something like this. Now, I probably had the worst poker face in the world where, you know, they're like, I see a male in your life, and I'll just like give away all the secrets away, and they'll be like, exactly, like I'll do the work for them. So I would have to like sit there with like a ski mask on, so I couldn't give away like facial expressions or like couldn't be at my house and be like, yo, check out this collectible I have. Like, so yeah, it'd be interesting. Maybe I would puss out like right before, I'd be like, nah, I really don't want to do this. I think I want to, but I don't want to.
Now record the whole experience for us so I can watch and I can laugh. I'll live vicariously through you. I'm not gonna touch that shit.
So you do believe in at least somewhat.
I just believe that karma is a thing, and if you fuck with things eventually come back on you.
Yeah, I
True.
was saying the same thing during the movie. It's like I'm not summoning any spirits, real or fake or whatever. No, it didn't mess with me. I ain't messing with it. Now, if it messes with me, then yeah, maybe I'll find out who to call to do an exorcism or something along those lines. But otherwise, I'm not.
leave it well alone.
Yeah, it's like I'm not going to a seance to talk to spirits. It's like I'm, not. It's not even a superstitious thing. Just being by the old wives' tale, a child born with a veil kind of thing. Yeah, I don't need a seance to talk to spirits. I don't need it. I experienced it enough on my own. That's good enough.
I mean, the curiosity, I feel like, is always there. Like, if you were told you have the opportunity that you might be able to connect with someone from your past that's passed away, that like you're always like, oh, I wish I had one more conversation with this person. Like, would you do it? Even if you knew it could let something else in that pretends it's the relative. No?
No.
Wow.
I've thought about it before with my dad. You know, the idea of like, what if I could have one more conversation with him? But I feel like it's again one of those things like if I'm manipulating shit to make this happen, I don't trust the results. I don't trust that there isn't going to be a bad experience in the process. Yeah, you gotta leave things well enough alone. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, the whole veil thing. I let's just say I've been able to hear whispers. So yeah,
That was me.
Yeah, no. No, if it's a close family member, they already know I don't like ghosts. So most of them leave me alone unless I'm in trouble or the family's in trouble or something along those lines. Like, hey, stay home from work today. And then, oh, there was a major accident on the highway. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm kind of glad I called out today, kind of thing. No, if somebody was like, oh yeah, we could do a seance for that. I'm good. I already got the connect. I'm trying to disconnect. I don't need a outside source to help. No, thank you.
There's been research on this stuff. People have looked at manifests from like, the Titanic and other events that occurred and stuff, and they've seen that a lot of people canceled before the Titanic went out, before certain other planes and ships went out and stuff. So they've avoided, certain areas and concerts and stuff because they had a premonition beforehand. That's recorded. It's been researched, it's been recorded and everything like that. So I believe that exists. I believe that happens. Just like you were saying.
I mean, there could also it could also be explained away somewhat in like the idea of, it's like when Fuzzy and I talk. It's like, oh yeah, you gonna take a flight to this thing? Like, no, I don't really like the idea after previous experiences, or like, oh hey, are you gonna go on a boat? Like, it could also fall as easily to just, I have a fear of this shit, I don't want to do it, or I've had a bad experience that has led me to think that this could be another bad experience.
Yeah, and
Um,
that does, that has been recorded, and that in itself has been compared to things like that, like the Titanic event. Normally there is a slight amount of cancellation due to fear or whatever, but it's
Mhm.
not as large as the catastrophic events that have occurred.
mm,
Not to
Such
hijack the
as,
show. I do have to let Cypher know about some of those events.
oh yeah, yeah.
All right. I'll try to make this real quick, everybody. All right. There's a couple of them. First one, sign up for the military, get ready to fly out to basic training. It is a regular civilian flight. There's a few people from MEPS or from the Philadelphia area flying out to, I guess it was South Carolina, when we were going to Fort Jackson.
yeah.
And at the time, this is what, 93?
Mm.
I believe I've played some flight simulators on old Windows 95 computers at that point, and I kind of have an idea, without actually having any official pilot training. I kind of have an idea of what's supposed to happen. And I noticed that it looks like we're aiming for a runway that has a plane on it. And I say this, and people look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, the runway we're aiming for has a plane on it. Now, once again, this is 93.
No, that was 97 when we went to Egypt.
No, there's a separate one for Egypt. This isn't. This
Okay,
was
this is the
before.
one beforehand.
So this is a plane. There's a plane, a regular, like a full size plane. I forget what type of plane I was on, but it was a full size. Like I want to say like a 747, maybe slightly smaller or so. But there was like an equivalent size plane on the runway. And right when you would normally expect the wheels to touch the ground, I hear the thruster or the engines spool up, and it felt like we were taking off again, and it felt like we were heading straight up in the air, and then it felt like the plane stalled a bit, and then it leaned on its side where you could look out to the window to the left and see the sun, and look out to the windows to the right and see the ground, and it felt like we were spiraling out of the sky kind of thing. And once the pilot, I guess, got it kind of leveled out and turned us around, it was like, sorry about that. It appears that we plane on the runway that we were trying to land on, or something along those lines, where you had to do a go around. And then everybody wanted to look at me like I was to blame. I'm like,
Hey, look, I wasn't on that flight. I wasn't on that one, so I can't say anything about that one.
Now, the one that Fee's talking about,
I was on that one.
We're going to Egypt. It's our military training for the 2 weeks in the summer. And we were, our unit, as well as the headquarters and the unit from Florida, were lucky enough to go to Project Bright Star. This is no top secret stuff or anything like that. But we're going to Egypt. We're landing at Cairo. And I'm like, I see two F-15s on the runway we're aiming for. And everybody's like, don't start this shit. Like, because they've heard about my other close calls and stuff like that. They're like, don't start this. I'm like, no, there's two F-15s. They're getting ready to do their sorties, which is basically they take off and do like not laps, but they basically go around, fly a pattern, and come back for security kind of thing. Just as the plane, and it was a civilian plane that was chartered with full military on it. Like the other flight, it was like a mixture of civilian and military people going to a military base, but this one is all military on a civilian flight. Just as the tires start to touch the ground when we're landing, the two F-15s take off right above the wings, and it shakes the plane so vigorously that the air mass fall down and scares the crap out of everybody. And I'm like, what did I tell you? So that's one of three main ones. There's ones where I was the only passenger on a chartered flight, heading back home or heading back to military training, because I had to fly back home after my grandmother passed, and they gave me the time off, fly home, fly back. The flight back,
I guess it was a prop job that could not get above the clouds or above the storm. And it felt like the worst roller coaster. And it was a small enough prop job plane where there was no door between the pilot and co-pilot. And I could see them like almost lifting out of their seats as we're going up and down. I just knew I was a goner. That's the first time I kissed the ground after we landed. Another random one, took a flight out to Colorado for work to view one of our suppliers. It was me and a couple other people. I don't like flying, so I bought a little small bottle of Bailey's, put it in my coffee to kind of calm my nerve. Now, I didn't finish the bottle. I just put like maybe half the bottle in and then tucked it in my pocket. Now, bear in mind, this is after September 11th. I'm forgetting all about you can't bring liquids on or whatever, but nobody checked me when I went to do the return flight back to PA. And, I order a coffee and I was like, oh, check my coffee or my coat pocket. Oh, I still got the Bailey's in there. So I pour that in my coffee and one of the stewardesses snatches it out of my hand. Luckily, it's after I had already dumped everything out. It's like, where'd you get this? I'm like, I had it from the previous flight. I'm sorry. I completely forgot that it was even there. And she wanted to, berate me about, having it or whatever. I just finished my coffee and I was like, whatever. And it was one of those things where it's like, it's all like what my grandmother would say, God doesn't like ugly kind of thing. So as the flight continues, we're hitting some bad turbulence, and it's when they're bringing the beverage carts back or whatever. That same stewardess winds up in this turbulence that's bad enough for her to fly up, hit her head on the top of the plane, come back down, and then the cart rolls back and hits her. That was kind of like karma, I guess you could say, but I'm still scared out of my mind because the plane to do that type of turbulence, it's very unsettling. But there have been other, what I would say, close calls. I just, if you see me getting on the plane, you might want to take the next one. I'll just put it at that. So
yeah, we have a comment about that. So, okay, Fuzzy Belvedere, at this point, please don't get into another plane. You have a Final Destination 10 times. Okay, look, we're coming back from going shopping yesterday because, he's like, we gotta go shopping. I'm like, okay, we gotta go shopping. We gotta get water or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, I don't know if I want to go to like the Xbox game thing or whatever. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, oh, remember the one that we went to out in California a few years back? I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to get on a plane, but I want to go. So yeah, this is every conversation. Like we had to go on a cruise, and we had to fly down. I had to get him first class tickets for him to get on the plane so he could be in the cushy area just in case something happened.
Yeah, but actually, that's probably the worst part of the plane to be on. If you go down, they're usually the first ones to feel it. I think it was just more of a matter of I need more liquids, more liquid courage. So it's like free, unlimited at that point when you're in that area. So it's like, yeah,
it's a little free flowing in first class.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, but I think if I do go to this event, I'm considering driving, even though I know it'll take probably a week up and a week back. But
I ain't driving with you that long. That ain't happening.
Oh shit! The truth comes out. God damn.
I don't know if I could. I don't know. That's a really long ways.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just let me know
you might have to get another buddy.
Let me know if you guys do it, and we can split on a room. I think I'm going to. Although I don't know if I can hit. Never mind.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I don't know. I don't know if you want him to come and pick you up, and this way you can drive up there.
No, I especially considering a lot of the more recent incidents with planes, and it seems like every weekend now. Like we went, I want to say decades without major crashes within the U.S., but it feels just like I don't know.
Every time. Well, I guess I don't know. Technically, I suppose it's ever since January of last year, we've had a hell of a record when it comes to crashes.
Mhm.
And I ended up going actually to Texas at one point last year for a little bit for work, and I was stressing when we were getting on that flight because before we even got onto it, I got a notification that our flight got canceled.
Mhm.
And I was like, what the hell is this? And then when we got there the next day, they're like, oh, no, you're good. You're good. Someone fat fingered it. And we don't know what gate you're going to be at, but your flight is still happening. We'll let you know more later. And so we were just like sitting there waiting. And then when we got on the plane, we got stuck sitting on the tarmac for like an hour and a half.
Mhm.
And it's just like there were multiple things over and over again that were, I felt like it was telling me, like, maybe you shouldn't take this flight. Like it was not great. I feel your pain. I really do.
No, but yeah, I have a fear of flying. As crazy as it sounds, I'd probably have less of a fear if I was an actual pilot.
Mm.
There was a point in time when I had considered getting my pilot's license, but yeah, I don't feel like being bothered now. I really don't. I know it's much safer than driving and whatnot, and considering I've been in 2 major incidences in driving, not my fault, distracted drivers looking at their phones, but all in all, outside of that, I feel at least a little bit more comfortable on the road. I don't know. It's probably like a false sense of comfort, but yeah,
So,
that's my story.
I would get my pilot license because, I like to learn things anyway and I'd be willing to do it and stuff. But, I just have a fear that Fuzzy's not going to get in the plane with me either.
I could
I mean, it'd just be a
understand that
waste.
fear. I could understand that fear.
It'd just be a waste.
Mhm.
You'd never get in anyway.
I'd probably be right there with Fuzzy. I'd be like, good luck on your flight. We'll talk to you when you make it safely to your location.
Mm.
Whatever.
Mhm.
It's nothing against you. I just,
It doesn't feel that way.
it's the process.
It's the
You know,
process. So yeah, any movie with an airplane going down gives traumatic vibes to Fuzzy. Just to let you know that.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he said he has a couple weeks to decide whether he wants to go to the Xbox thingy anyway.
Xbox thingy.
As you can tell, I'm not a
Yeah.
gamer.
I like how Blue Moon highlighted that in the chat too. Xbox game thing. Exactly. That's
There you
that's
go.
kind of the same way that my wife approached it too. She was like, "No, if you want to go, we can try and figure it out. We can figure out how to get you that Xbox thing." I was like, "Oh, good God."
Well, my thing is that if Fuzzy goes, there's really no point in me going if he's going to be sharing a room with other people to keep costs down. Because when we went out there, what year did we go out there?
I think 22. It was like the year that they finally restarted it because of after COVID, and it was like, I want to say, the worst year.
Yeah.
Just for the fact what the stories people tell me of the gift bags that they got in previous years and after 22, we got gypped. We got a thing of popcorn,
Yep.
and we got our jerseys with our gamer tags on it,
Yeah.
and we got a bag to hold the popcorn, and I think maybe some like bottled water and some hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
And that was it. But previous years and even years after, I hear the stories of people getting controllers and getting like maybe a few games or getting like discount codes for live or Game Pass and stuff, and some other stuff like a headset or something like that. No, we didn't get any of that.
I've got a good feeling about this year.
Yeah.
And I've been looking at it myself, and I definitely want to, but I just, I don't know. We'll see. But it would be worth it. It seems like, because this is the 25th anniversary. So
yeah. I just know that when we went out there, we stayed at the same hotel that was really, really close to the event that everybody else was staying at.
Yeah, basically all the Xbox execs were in that same hotel.
JW.
It was it a Hilton or a Hyatt? I think it was a Hyatt franchised one. I don't know what the name of the hotel is right now, but
I can't remember.
Basically, I know Phil was there and Stein was there and Greeny was there and a few others were there as well.
Yeah, but there was a mandatory valet charge every single day you were there.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean it was like an all day thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of my thought. Like that was one of the reasons why I wanted to just fly there and just get a location right there, is because I don't want to deal with the rental stuff. I don't want to deal with all the extra charges. I feel like if you cut out the car cost and you just get one of those locations right there, it's not it's going to balance out. I feel like the cost is going to be pretty close anyways. So, and then there's like just the reduced chaos of having to try and figure out all the valet stuff and everything.
Yeah, parking is not plentiful out there either.
No.
Like we went to, was it Trios Tacos or something?
Yeah,
and it's in like a little shopping center area, and it's like, oh, $25 for an hour or something. And there is like absolutely no parking. So it's like you have to go 2 blocks away, get some quarters out or whatever, or use your card or a phone app to pay the little meters and then walk back there and stuff. But yeah.
And we got lucky on that one. We didn't have to walk as far.
Yeah.
But they pack the cars in, by the way. If you do valet, they pack those cars in. There is no way for you to get in and out very quickly.
Yeah, it's definitely like Tetris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you have that added cost and everything. And I don't mind renting a vehicle or whatever.
$8 gas though when we were there.
$8. Oh God. Yeah. See, that alone, like I don't necessarily want to go through the hassle of the airplane stuff, but if I can avoid some of that stuff, yes.
But you're kind of, if you don't have a vehicle and you're used to one, you are kind of at the mercy of, if you forget something or if something breaks out there, like what happened with Fuzzy. He needed to go get something and we had to go to Walmart to get it and stuff, and there was no Walmart in walking distance, and
right
trying to find somebody to take us out there would have been also a nightmare as well, trying to get an Uber because they're kind of expensive out there too. So there's trade-offs.
I totally get that. When I used to go to Colorado for the brewery job, we literally just relied on those type of things, or just trying to make sure that you had everything packed as well as possible. It's like once or twice, I think I forgot something, and it wasn't like life-changing or anything if I forgot it, but it was definitely one of those things where it's like, okay, if it's a necessity, then you figure it out, but otherwise you just deal with it and you just keep moving. Yeah, I've definitely been in that situation.
But at the same time, if you drive out there like Fuzzy wants to do, possibly, it is a long time to drive. But you have your own vehicle, and all you're worried about is.
Are we ready to review this bad boy? Our scores?
What was that?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna review it.
Yeah, we gotta get back to the movie.
Presto is very impatient right now.
Sorry, Presto. Sorry.
Fee should go first this week.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree.
Why did I get punished? What'd I do?
No, because you always weasel out of it. It's your turn.
Yeah.
What do you mean I don't weasel out of rating?
Oh, you weasel. You're literally you're weaseling every single time. You're the Pauly Shore of the podcast.
How am I Pauly Shore?
Because you're the weasel.
Anyway, Fine. Wait a minute. Who can't hear me?
She's trying to deflect.
No, it says I can't hear Fee for some reason. I think it's Presto.
Oh, Presto, if you can't hear Fee, one, that might be okay. But two, you probably you probably gotta close out your browser and go back in, because this happened to you with me previously.
Yeah, it's so I'm trying to unmute him and it says
Oh yeah, let me try that then.
It's because he's trying to watch his Lifetime soap operas again in the background. It's fucking up the microphone. I don't know.
They're the best.
Hell yeah. Man. Hey, Rob Lowe is a national treasure, okay? And all those movies he's in, they may be shit, but they serve a purpose for someone, I'm sure. Maybe.
Anyway, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Oh, wait.
We can hear you. It was just him that couldn't hear you.
No, I know. That's why I was asking.
He got tired of hearing about our video game stuff.
Yes, I know.
But he's not here right now, so we can go ahead and talk. Oh, shit.
I'm back.
Fuck. All right. We'll have to do that outside.
What did Fee give it?
Can you hear? Can you hear?
I'm not
I hear.
stalling.
I hear, unfortunately.
You must be a Russian dictator because you're Stalin.
What's your score?
Stop pressuring me. Anyway. All right, so I'm gonna give you this a 6.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you why. One, it's not rewatchable. I can't rewatch this thing if I gotta sit there and pay attention to it.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that most movies?
No.
Yeah, it is.
I can't throw this on and have it in the background and periodically look at it. Like, that's not gonna work.
So because you can't do something, it's a bad movie.
I never said it was a bad movie. 6 is not a bad movie.
But you can't rewatch it because...
No, I can't rewatch it.
Okay.
Other
It's only
people might be
57
able to.
minutes, so...
Interesting.
I mean, I also can't rewatch Sinister, but I'm not going to downgrade it to a 6. I can't watch it due to the fact that it's freaky. Like, I don't want to watch that.
I thought you liked horror
There are
movies.
some movies you don't watch twice. We all know. Requiem for a Dream. We're not watching that twice, right?
I don't know.
I didn't even watch it once.
Just restarted Sinister recently.
Oh my god, you guys gotta watch Requiem for a Dream. Like,
Yo,
why
stay
have you not watched
focused.
Anyway, I also don't like the whole. It's not believable for me to have an online seance. While it's an original twist, it just kind of made me want to yell at the screen. So that's not normal for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fuzzy thing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I see.
Okay.
Would you recommend this movie?
I would recommend it to other people that understand that, you know, they're just watching a movie. They're not watching something that's realistic.
Oh my God.
Not a documentary.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Do you know how to watch movies? I guess I never knew that was a thing. But with you, I'm really starting to wonder, like, I don't know if you understand what to do when you watch movies. Like,
I know how to watch a movie.
Just certain types of movies, but
Probably
we
like
get it. We get it.
Probably like these kids nowadays where you're like texting and eating a pizza and also making like a Lego set while you're watching the show with like 5% of your brain.
Okay, first of all,
yeah.
I'm not that bad.
That's me sometimes, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean that's me too, but I'm just saying, like,
No. Fee will have a movie on in the background, be on the laptop, and have her phone out watching TikTok stories of a lady talking about, I guess, a wedding dress debacle.
So she is that person. Holy shit. I nailed that to a T. I didn't even expect that. That's amazing.
No, it's really not, though.
I am so
Don't
desensitized.
ruin the magic.
I'm just saying, I'm so desensitized most of the time that I'm like,
'Cause
okay, that happened.
Because you're not paying attention.
Yeah, you're convinced that it's not going to be original, so you're like, well, I don't give a shit.
So here, look, I can sympathize with Fee. Sometimes there's too much belief to suspend. That is true.
No. Judah, stop it.
Is that your friend's?
Don't embolden this behavior.
Isn't that your buddy Silent?
I think it's all of our buddy.
Yeah.
Judah hangs out in a bunch of the shows. Shout out to Judah. It's always good to see Judah.
Well, now shout out for Judah this time.
Well, I did it. You go to your corner, Presto. Shit.
Judah's agreeing with Fee's gibberish.
Wasn't original enough.
I never
Not
said
original enough.
I couldn't watch it while cooking dinner on my laptop, drinking a smoothie, feeding the cats.
Yep,
Not
exactly.
that. No, Fuzzy feeds the cats.
4 out of 10.
All right, so you gave it a 6 out of 10.
Yes.
You wouldn't watch it again, but you would recommend it.
Yeah.
That is quite a juxtaposition.
Yeah.
I can't watch it again, but you should.
Like this. Apparently, the three of you did.
That shit bored the hell out of me, but I definitely recommend you watch it.
All right, who wants to go next?
I'll jump in. I'll give it probably a 7.8. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I feel like it did a really good job at not overstaying its welcome. Mm-hmm. Got in there, presented what it wanted to do, and then it got out. I think they did a really good job with the budget that they were given. I honestly wish that like a lot of the other movies that we've watched would have done as well with just delivering like the story and getting out of there. I feel like we've watched a lot of movies where it's like, oh yeah, they had a massive budget and they completely shit it away. Mm-hmm. This didn't feel like that. That's like Thanksgiving. Honestly, or wasn't it that one? It was, it was the one where they ended up doing Thanksgiving 3, and they earned like $110 million for the sequel.
I wouldn't say million, but
no, I think it was. Or I forget what it was. 1,000,
110,000.
1,000. Okay, not 10 million. My bad. I apologize. I'm Sorry, I'm going news on this. 110 million. But no, like they made a whole bunch of money off of that one and threw it in there and then just squandered it. This did a really good job at dialing everything in, making its point, and getting the hell out. And so I really appreciated that. I thought I thought the story for the characters was interesting. I was very happy to see Karma come and kick the one person in the ass for joking about like, oh wait, I hear Jack. Like that's what you get. But I felt like it was a really good experience. And at 57 minutes, it's like, even if you don't really want to sit there and watch like a big, long, drawn out thing, this is a quick experience. You get to watch it and then, you just move on with life. And it's great. It's great. I really enjoyed it.
Thanksgiving 3 is a movie that Fee would write while trying to, like, if Fee was watching a movie and told her to summarize the movie, that'd be Thanksgiving 3. Like, not really paying attention, thinking she saw stuff and she didn't, adding weird shit in there, like
cooking some egg rolls while sweeping the floor in the kitchen and putting some laundry in, and like tweeting on Instagram,
Mhm.
all at the same time.
And adding puppets just because.
Exactly.
I
Yes.
don't like puppets.
Puppets feels very Fee-ish. It feels like a thing that Fee would do.
I don't know about that.
I
Now,
concur.
random animals in the movie that seem to want to attack people, that might be more my style.
Okay. So puppet animals it is.
Creepy animals, yes.
All right. Fuzzy, what's your take on this?
My rating is a solid 7. Like, all right. So not an IGN 7. A solid 7 is basically this is rewatchable. This is
Okay, that's not
I
what you
do.
said last night.
Wait, what?
Whoa.
That is not what you said last
Oh.
night. You said this was an IGN 7.
Oh.
I'm not going to give it an
We
IGN 7
get-
because that's a distorted
Uh-huh,
rating at
He
that
gets
point.
together with
That's-
you two, and all of a sudden his
That's-
rating changes.
Oh
That's
my
because he's got backup from his boys right now.
No, but I give it a 7 because it is rewatchable. I do recommend it. I enjoyed the I guess you could say like the jump scares and the various things that they had going on to kind of, keep you on the edge of the seat. Love the concept. Yeah, there's some stuff, some standard disbelief stuff you gotta kind of work through. But I think it was an enjoyable enough movie, but they probably could have reached a little bit more of a height or a higher score if it had uh, a little less of what to be expected. Like some stuff, it's kind of expected, or what you would see as like typical paranormal type found footage tropes kind of thing. But overall, it was still enjoyable. And at 57 minutes, you can't go wrong. I think this is, a good movie on a small budget that have had they had a larger budget probably could have done some more things, but it like Silent Cipher was saying, it didn't overstay its welcome. It's short enough where even if you're on like the second watch or third rewatch or whatever, it's less than an hour. You can have it in the background and then check in on it every now and then when one of the people gets attacked or scared by the demon kind of thing, which all that stuff was pretty cool. And whether you're a fan of Zoom or meetings or what have you, this is an enjoyable take, which I do not recommend having like a screensaver of yourself in the background. I mean, yeah, it might be cool if the screensaver makes it look like you're attending the meeting, but yeah, then you might wind up being in trouble if you do have an emergency, and then people are like, "Oh no, he's still in the meeting. No, we didn't see him like fly into the camera or whatever." So, yeah, but definitely recommend it. A solid 7. Presto, what about you?
So I think I'm going to give this a 7.9. I'm going to give it the highest score ever. Not an 8. I don't think I've gave anything an 8 yet, but maybe when we did Scream, I probably gave that like an 11. But I give it a solid 7.9. Like we both all said, it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's 57 minutes. I mean, you could watch that very easily. Like Simon said, they got in, they got out. You got to know each character just a little. Shit started happening, and it happened to the end. I really like that after the movie, the credits, it's showing like a live Zoom they did for like rehearsal, and maybe or maybe not something happened during that. Like, but it still was freaky. This was the first like paranormal movie that I don't really consider like Insidious and Conjure and all those paranormal at like this type of paranormal, I guess. That really freaked me out since the Paranormal Activity movies, since the first one especially. Gave me that scary, uneasy, want to sleep with a nightlight feeling again. So they did a great job. I know not all of you like the face. I enjoyed it because it was different. Now, if they didn't show the face, I would have been like, okay, that's typical. Like, They usually don't show faces really, just shadows and bodies kind of thing. So I recommend it. It's on Netflix now. I don't know if it's streamed anywhere else, but most people have Netflix. I'm sure you can probably even find it on YouTube, like if you just type it
It's
in,
on
because
Tubi.
it's
I
okay.
saw it on.
Tubi.
Yeah.
Well, that's even better because it's for free then, if you don't have Netflix. But it was fun. It delivered what it was supposed to. It made me really focus, not be on my phone, see if stuff was moving in the background. Yes, stuff was. Yes, I thought stuff was. So it delivered how I expected it to deliver, and I wasn't disappointed at all. I rewatched it already again. Well, I saw it in the past, and I rewatched it now. And I'd watch it again, see if I notice more. So I don't regret it at all. So I give it a 7.9.
Nice. Nice. Well,
All
I
right.
think that's pretty much a wrap.
Oh no, we have another question here.
Oh.
That I think as soon as I can find it. Real quick. Vampire films, and I'm not going first because I got a long list.
My favorite would be, what was it, the 28 Days and Nights or whatever? I think that's the one
30,
where it's like
30 days.
30
days.
days
and
and
nights. The first one, right?
Oh,
whatever one is in Alaska where like
Yeah,
the
it's the
sun
first
doesn't come up for like a month or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was probably my favorite vampire film. I'm not the biggest vampire fan. I'm more of a zombie fan, but that one, I definitely like that one. And then probably the next one was with the guy that I guess crashed his car, flew out the windshield, and landed in water and didn't burn in the sunlight.
Mm.
I forget what one that is.
you talking about the one with Willem Dafoe and Ethan Hawke?
Yeah,
Daybreakers.
Yeah,
Daybreakers.
Daybreakers. That one was really good.
yeah. So those are my top two, but like I said, I'm not the biggest vampire fan.
That's funny because I was actually thinking of Daybreakers just before you talked about that one. That one was really good. Fun fact: 30 Days of Night was actually the very first movie that my wife and I ended up seeing in theaters. We saw it on our first date. And yeah, she led me into a false sense of belief that she liked horror movies. Because she's like, yeah, I'll totally go see this. And so like we went that night to see it on our first date. And then I found out that like she totally doesn't like horror movies whatsoever. And so it's usually like pulling teeth for me to show her horror movies. So, you know, fooled me once and twice on that one. Shame on me. I should have been paying attention.
Yeah. She just wanted to go because, you know, of what is his name? Josh. Yeah, Josh Hartnett.
I mean, I was fine with it because Josh Hartnett got me a bunch of like cuddle time on the first day, so I'm fine with it. Josh Hartnett hasn't done anything wrong for me. And he was awesome in Halloween H2O. Like, it was a horrible movie, but I always enjoyed it. So
well, yeah, but what I'm saying is that what I'm asking is, did she try and lure you in to go watch Trap 2 as well?
No, I was actually I think I was the one that was actually like, hey, we need to watch that. And I enjoyed that one too. I'm a fan of Josh Hartnett.
Now I was just wondering because, you know, he's making a comeback.
Hey, I'm all for it. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see him back in the spotlight.
What about you, Presto? What is your favorite vampire movie?
I'm not a huge vampire fan either, but Daybreakers is good. I mean, From Dusk to Dawn, that's a classic. You have The Lost Boys, and then you can get cheesy with like Blade, where like it's like an action vampire movie. Would you consider? Well, they're more than just a vampire movie, but like the underworld movies, those are good.
Yeah, they're vampire movies.
Yeah, those are good. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess I don't go out of my way. The best one, Once Bitten, with Jamie Kennedy and Matt Rife. It's so bad.
That was the worst.
What about what was it? Kiss of a Vampire with Nicolas Cage? Or Vampire's Kiss. Vampire's
Yeah.
Kiss. Sorry.
Yeah. He actually ate a live cockroach in that one.
Ugh.
Of course he did, because Nick Cage doesn't fuck around when it comes to characters.
Oh, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Whether you like Nick Cage or not, Nick Cage will always give a Nick Cage performance, and I can appreciate that.
I can too.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, he's a fucking national treasure.
I still think my favorite movie he's in is was it Raising Arizona?
Yeah. That
I've
was
That's still
never
my
watched
favorite.
that one.
Oh, you have to watch that. Fuzzy is asking you to watch that one.
Yeah,
See-
yeah. It's a good one.
See, the Rock was always a big one for me. That one, or also Con Air, because Con Air is just so fucking ridiculous.
Well, Raising Arizona is a comedy, and John Goodman was also in it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the one they did with Deborah Foreman. What was it, Valley Girl?
Yeah.
That one was good too.
Yeah.
So
Anyways, the Nick Cage podcast has yet to be started, but I think we should definitely do maybe an episode. Face Off, exactly. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
Blue Moon. Thank you. Face Off. Yes.
Well,
I could eat a peach for hours. Like, what the fuck? That movie. My goodness. So good.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry. Derailing again. Sorry, Presto. Sorry.
Did everyone? Yeah, everyone grade it. Rate it.
Yeah. So I'll just be quick on this question. So I really like vampire movies. So I will tell you some of the ones that aren't mainstream.
Oh,
Forsaken.
shit. Here we go.
Forsaken.
Mm-hmm.
Near Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Dead
Innocent
and
Blood.
Breakfast.
Dead and Breakfast. Yeah, I was
Dead
about to say.
Dead and Breakfast was a zombie movie, by the way. Anyway.
You couldn't tell.
Well, it sucked the life out of me.
Yes.
Anyway.
Oh, Presto. Well played. Well played.
Anyway.
God damn.
The Thirst. And then one that is going to be hard if anybody wants to try and find this. There's a movie called Side F/X, and it's supposed to be. It's supposed
Side
to read.
effects?
It's supposed to read Side Effects, but they wrote it as Side F/X, and
Gross.
yeah. So, but I like the independent stuff. But anyway, but no, I like a lot of the vampire movies and stuff like that. Bitten, we did a review on Bitten.
Yeah.
That one's also a good one. That one has Jason Mewes in it.
Mm-hmm.
The one that does films with Kevin Smith. That was a really good one. So
I'm surprised you didn't say Twilight.
Oh,
All right, look.
I'm
I don't want to anger
pleased.
Presto.
I'm pleased that you didn't say Twilight.
Presto's hungry. Presto wants to go because Presto's hungry.
Yeah, Presto's done with this bullshit.
Wow.
Especially when you said Dead and Breakfast again.
So we're not going to get into the argument about Twilight, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, it's not worth the conversation anyways, so we're good.
All right, so we can do outros. Who wants to start?
Presto!
All right. Well, thanks for joining us again. Hope you check out this movie if you didn't, because it's a good one. Not much going on with me this week. A couple of kids' birthday parties, WWE Royal Rumble, I think the NFL Pro Bowl game is on, if that's a thing still. I don't know. Yeah, so just laying low.
Well, yeah, you'll go ahead and probably catch me playing some Arc Raiders this weekend, trying to stay pretty much off the radar as much as possible. Presto, I'm surprised that they allow you to go to kids' birthday parties again, but I'm glad to hear that the restriction was lifted.
Thanks.
I'm really looking forward to next week when we end up doing Toxic Avenger. I have not watched that one yet, although I did tell Melissa Price in the chat that was going to be the movie that we were watching, and she's already watched it. She hasn't given me any feedback. I'm trying to go into this movie without any information whatsoever because I've never seen the original. And I'm looking forward to this one, but I don't really know very much about it. So looking forward to talking about that one with you guys next week after I get a chance to watch it, hopefully this weekend. And besides that, yeah, just catch me on all social media locations or find me on Xbox at Silent Cypher. And thanks, chat.
Fuzzy.
Nice. Yeah, as always, love doing this podcast with you guys. For everybody in the chat, thank you guys for showing up. Greatly appreciate the support. And if you haven't already, definitely check out Hosts. Like I said, recommend. It's definitely worth the watch. And if you have the chance, watch the latest Toxic Avenger, because like Cypher said, that'll be the movie for next week. So we'll try to get better at making posts for the movie prior, so you guys have ample time to check it out if you haven't watched it prior. But as always, greatly appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Be back here next Friday, same time, same place. Obviously different movie, but yeah, have a good weekend and be safe. Fee, take us home.
So yeah, I'm gonna be back to work next week. But I have already put up on in the queue for YouTube. I've already put up that we are doing the new Toxic Avenger. Unfortunately, I don't believe that it's on any streaming right now for free.
Wait,
I think it's just Hulu right now.
I thought that was on Amazon Prime, wasn't it, for streaming?
It is on Prime, but I couldn't find it for free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It is. Yeah, it is on Amazon. And I think maybe on Hulu.
Yeah, it's saying it's on Hulu.
Yeah, so
like if you do a Disney Plus Hulu Max bundle.
Yeah, so if you have that, but I think I'm just trying to find Just Watch, just in case it's on an obscure one. Canopy. Yeah, it says Fandango. Nope, this is the original one. It's not the new one.
Yeah, I know Voodoo Fandango, that combination. Yeah, they've got the original, but not the new one, sadly.
Yeah, they're just showing the original one on the people can try Hulu if they have that one. Otherwise, I think it's running at $5 to rent on Amazon and $10 to buy it. So it's not like it's expensive or anything like that. I was able to find a copy in Walmart. So if anybody wants to see if it's in the stores and stuff like that. But we will be doing that one. If you watch the old one, I'm sure it'll be brought up along the way. But otherwise, nope, that's what we're doing. So, but bye, everybody.
See you.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.